All right, so if you want to lead people in uncertainty, first you're going to dive deep and connect and communicate with those underlying commitments. And as you make decisions to demonstrate them, you're going to square your shoulders and step into them boldly. And then finally, you need to get your head up. Get your head up and be prepared to reassess and even redecide if necessary. Look, good leaders all know that in uncertain times, they need to really give their people this sense that they're strong, right? So they try to come out confident and strong. They try to portray a really strong attitude. But, sometimes they go for the wrong kind of strength. There's a couple different kinds of strength, and they often go for what I would call a brittle strength. They try to be strong in a way that's absolutely immovable, and, well, that kind of strength eventually gets overwhelmed and breaks. Instead, go for the kind of strength that's resilient. Think like a piece of spring steel that can flex and it snaps back. It'll never break. Because when situations are uncertain or they're constantly changing, leaders need to be able to flex to meet new information or circumstances that are changing or emergent needs, but they can't break. They need to be ready to make up their minds confidently and then change their minds confidently. Man, that takes a lot of courage. I think it's more courageous sometimes to change your mind than it is to make it up in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that leaders that do that are wishy-washy. Far from it. There's a fine but very important line between being fickle and being agile. Now, both of these involve making changes in directions, but being fickle indicates that those changes are sort of haphazard and you've been pushed around, or maybe it's the product of insufficient commitment in the first place, right? They reveal that you're not really reliable and you can be pushed around by the winds of change or the waves of public opinion, and people will quickly lose confidence in your leadership if that's the case. But being agile indicates that you're paying attention and that you're deliberately and strategically adjusting your course to keep moving forward in the face of new obstacles or new information. It reaffirms that you're paying attention and that you're making new decisions as needed to deal with the circumstances. That's why when I'm struggling through the waves at Coolangatta, it's not just important that I get under the wave, but that when I come up, I quickly assess what to do. You've been to the beach yourself when you come up and you're disoriented or you're facing the wrong direction just in time to get hit by the next wave. And, it's important to keep paying attention and keep making decisions, because that kind of agility, when it's in an organization, it breeds more confidence in your team. Just because it tells them that you're paying attention. They know you're on the job and you're going to keep them on course. So that's our three different strategies. In summary, I hope you can appreciate what I meant by duck diving. Now you kind of see this example in a whole new light. Because when you're facing uncertainty, or you're trying to lead in the face of major ambiguity, whether it's from internal forces like reorganizations or some sort of organizational change or even a crisis, or maybe external forces like social or economic shifts or say a global pandemic, you're going to feel like I did in Coolangatta. You're going to be beaten by the breakers and constantly changing currents that are pulling you around and pushing you around. You're going to encounter the waves of public opinion, and you might be having a hard time making headway. But if you dive deep, you connect and communicate with those underlying commitments, if you square your shoulders and you're ready to step boldly into your decisions, and you get your head up so that you can reassess or redecide as necessary, you'll keep your credibility, and maybe more importantly, you'll eventually move your people to a much better place.